Buzzketeers.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Allie, and we are the Buzzketeers.
So today I'm drinking Knob Creek 100 proof bourbon.
Nice.
Because it's one of those days.
We've all had a lot of those days lately, though. I mean, come on.
It's one of those lives.
Yeah, one of those years.
2020 in general is kind of kicking people's butts. But I honestly have hope that we will all learn something from this year and we will all come out better for it. So
Did we skip the murder hornets? I'm just curious because they were like on Facebook for a day and then haven't heard anything since, but we're still talking about everything else that I've seen on Facebook. So did we just skip that part?
My favorite tweet I've seen about the murder hornets is it was a filler episode.
Oh, nuts. Wow.
That's too accurate. That is too accurate.
Oh man. But oh man. Well, yeah, 2020, it's been a time, but you know what? It's okay. We still got our friends and we still got alcohol. Tonight, I'm taking it easy tonight, actually. I'm drinking Blue Moon. They have an iced coffee blonde brew, and it's pretty good.
Jordan likes that one. I haven't drank beer in forever. I've been sticking to the hard stuff. I feel like it's a sign of the times. So today's topic, we are just going to be talking about Pixar. It's one of the things that the three of us love, all the different Pixar movies. Nicole, you're right. Contrary to our name being based on Buzz Lightyear, my favorite Pixar character is Heimlich because I just want to eat a lot and be a beautiful butterfly someday.
I mean, don't we all?
Still, I'm getting really good at the eating part. I'm waiting for the butterfly part.
You got to do the cocoon moment. That you forgot. There's this whole different step there.
I could totally, if I could sleep off the extra weight, I totally would. But I don't think my son would like that.
Man, Heimlich is a great character, though. A Bug's Life is a great movie.
It's a very underrated movie. Not to circle back to that episode, but
it is
very underrated.
Hopper is like a great villain.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He's creepy.
And the scene where they're in like their weird bar cantina thing, and he teaches them all that one ant, it doesn't matter because eventually it's all the ants if they let them stand up to them. I'm like,
#relevant.
Yeah, that's some deep themes right there for some children. But
that's bananas, man.
That's what I say. When did you start saying that's bananas?
I don't know. You guys know that I steal your stuff.
Well, Allie, what's your favorite Pixar movie or character? I don't know.
Go ahead. If you want to say yours, go ahead.
I mean, when it comes to the movie, I'm always torn between Toy Story and WALL-E. And just character as well, I'm torn between Woody and WALL-E because I love them both so much. So, I mean, they're both great. WALL-E, though, I think is more, I think Toy Story is a funner movie and WALL-E is more of a, like, I'm going to watch this and it's going to feel like I'm watching art or something like that.
Well, because I think you said in another episode, or it might just been when we were talking, but like they literally are just saying their names the entire time, but they're conveying so much emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And such small little movements. I agree. It's like watching art.
Yeah. There doesn't have to be like much of a script at all for you to feel for all the characters in that movie. So I love that movie. And I love Toy Story. Oh, it's so good.
Toy Story, that's the one that started it all. How can you not like it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. And Woody is such a great character. I love him so much.
I feel like I can really relate to Woody. I'm a super duper control freak and I yell a lot. And I get frustrated a lot. And when change happens, I'm like, screw this.
Yeah. I just love it when he like yells, "You are a toy" at Buzz.
I like when the shark takes his hat.
Yeah. Howdy.
The best character, the best Pixar character right there is the shark.
I was watching Finding Dory the other day. I was not only watching it, I wanted a colorful movie so that Ray could watch while I took a nap. And he ended up falling asleep too. It worked. But
Nice.
I was watching it and I was just like realizing like all the different voice actors that they used and like how they're all super big names. Like I had no idea until a couple years ago that Kevin Spacey was Hopper.
Mm-hmm.
Now I watch Baby Driver and I'm like, oh my god,
I love making associations
Hopper's
like
a
that.
badass. Or House of Cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hopper really does have a dark side. But then, oh no, when I was watching Finding Dory, I was like, aw, it's Mr. Rose from Schitt's Creek. I was like,
That's cute.
oh my god. I don't know. I love that movie.
I need to finish Finding Dory. I actually only got like halfway through it. My family was watching it when I was at home with them, and I think we were having issues with the signal or something for the Wi-Fi, so it kept like pausing, and then I just never finished it. I need to finish it.
I think Finding Dory, but it's not my favorite, you know? I feel like it was a good concept, and everyone was like for years going like, you should do a Finding Dory because it would fit so perfectly. And they tried, but I feel like they missed the mark a bit on that film.
I feel like there was too much time. Like it kind of felt kind of like the same like way that Incredibles 2 felt to me, where it's just like you're picking up right where the last movie ended basically, or not very long after. But in reality, it's been like a decade.
Yeah, and then that's
longer.
something that contrasts with like Toy Story, where that one was more like realistic to a real life timeline of those releases.
True.
Yeah, because I was watching it and I was like, clownfish really don't live that long. And I was like, I was watching the seals in Finding Dory. One of them is his name Idris Elba or whatever.
Oh yeah, the actor.
Yeah, I was seriously like the other day. I was sitting there. I was like, that's not him. And then I can't tell you how many times I went to IMDb that day just to look at the cast because I was like, I don't believe it, and I was like, oh shit, it really is.
I feel like animated films a lot of the time you sit there and you listen and you're like, wait, is that? Mm-hmm. And then you look it up and you're like, it is.
It's like a victory point.
Yeah. If you can recognize people's voices.
Especially if they're doing something to their voice and you're like, that can't be that person. Then you're like, oh my god, I figured you out.
I got you.
Yeah, it's like sleuthing around the internet and you're like, oh, I did figure it out.
Man. Pixar sequels are weird though. I never saw Incredibles. I haven't watched Incredibles 2 yet. I need to watch it to judge.
So I agree with the fact that like it was too much time in between when they did Incredibles 1 and Incredibles 2. But I think they did a better job with the sequel version of like having that film rather than Finding Dory for Finding Nemo. Like it was an actual continuation of the story. It wasn't just kind of like, and this is just life.
Yeah.
You know, does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So,
I think that The Incredibles 2 is a good movie that you can watch it. It stands on its own. Mm-hmm. But I think Incredibles 2 has a way better soundtrack.
Okay.
I think it's got a way better soundtrack than the first one. And both soundtracks are all very jazzy. They don't have any songs, but if you listen on the soundtrack, like Frozone has his own theme song, Elastigirl has her own theme song, and it is like, I listen to the Disney playlists from Spotify, so I'm very familiar with the words to it. And the Elastigirl theme song, it's like it gets you pumped up. It's just like, yeah, all right, let's go.
There you go.
So,
right.
I think that when it comes to music in Pixar movies, though, I think that is the one thing that it has in comparison to traditional Disney animated films. I think that Pixar has much better overall music. And I think because of that, it's all background music that actually plays into what is going on in the film. And it builds. It does what the music used to do back in the day.
Right.
It's not. Yeah. It's not a musical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Pixar has such great music. Like, I literally was listening to A Bug's Life the other day, like the soundtrack, and just like the very end song, the like sweet of it, where it has the song that they play at the very end, where it's like do 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 do, and I was like crying listening to it because I was like, this is so good.
You know what song? You know what song gets me every time? The theme song from Up.
Oh yeah,
it gets me every time.
God, when they play it during World of Color, ooh, I cry.
Man, so I've already said before, I listen to the Disneyland soundtrack in my car because it's on Spotify, and I miss it a lot. I haven't been there in 4 years. That's a long time. I haven't been to Disneyland. Like, this is the longest I haven't been to Disneyland since literally 2001.
Right.
So, but, like, when the Main Street theme plays, that's a part of it. And I just want to dance. I make my son dance with me.
Yeah.
I pick Ray up, and I make him waltz with me. And he's just like, he has fun because he's going in circles. And then he's 19 pounds, almost 20 pounds now. So it's just like, I can't dance with him too long because then my arms get tired. It's just like, you know what? I'm done working out. You can just sit on the floor and spin by yourself.
I cannot wait to hear the Frontierland soundtrack again. Gosh, I kind of miss it. It's like playing in the background of my mind sometimes, and I'm like, Frontierland, I miss you. My little home.
I feel like that with the Buzz Lightyear soundtrack for Astro Blasters, because I don't know if you remember this, but when the last 7-8 months that I was there, as soon as I learned Buzz, I was pretty much there all the time. I hardly ever went back to Star Tours by choice. I wanted to be at Buzz Lightyear. I had a lot of fun at tours. I had more fun, I feel like, at Buzz. But yeah, the Buzz Lightyear soundtrack. Even watching Star Wars, though, sometimes, and hearing that music, it makes me nostalgic for, like, doing glasses down at the bottom of the ramp.
The Imperial March.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think when it comes to the soundtrack, I think definitely Pixar has a leg up on traditional animated Disney movies. Because
I like the Disney soundtracks. Like, I love them. I do. But when you listen to them, like, let's say for our current, like, 90s to modern day, usually Alan Menken is the composer. It's beautiful, but they all sound the same. Like, and that you get that a lot with, like, when you have similar composers doing stuff, because I mean,
look at Indiana Jones movies and then look at Pirates of the Caribbean movies, those soundtracks. John Williams. Yeah. And Star Wars. All three of those.
Even Home Alone, which John Williams composed, sounds like Harry Potter, which John Williams composed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They all sound similar when you have the same person. I mean, Randy Newman, his kind of sounds similar, and then I think
I can't stand Randy Newman when he sings.
Really? I don't mind it.
I can't. He sounds like he's always congested, which I shouldn't complain about because I know I sound nasally sometimes. I've been listening to a lot of recordings of myself, but like, so I know I sound nasally. I've actually got allergies right now, but he's just always like, I just can't do it. That's what he sounds like in my ear.
Let's see here.
I can't do it.
Oh, Thomas Newman.
Good song.
Thomas Newman did the other, like, the more ethereal, I guess I'll call it, Pixar soundtracks, the WALL-E and the Finding Nemo and stuff like that. So, And his stuff sounds similar too. And I'll just, yeah.
At the end of the day, I think a lot of music is just going to sound similar, period.
Oh, yeah.
But I think,
you can always tell when Danny Elfman has composed something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, did Danny Elfman, was he the composer? He was? Cool.
I had no idea.
But it's okay because all of those composers, they evoke a certain sort of feeling through their music and through their soundtracks.
Realistically speaking, they composed much of the soundtrack of our childhood. So though we may not really care for him now, we at least have a little bit of more respect for him than we did before.
What's your favorite Pixar soundtrack or your favorite Pixar song?
I'm assuming that was directed at Allie.
Either one. I mean,
I think I've told you my favorite though. It's the one from Up.
Yeah.
Oh, that title song.
Yeah, the title song.
Yeah, I like that too. I would say I really like Monsters Inc.
Oh,
which sounds so weird to say, but I really like the music in that movie. The scoring is done so well.
Can we just appreciate the fact that they actually had John Goodman and Billy Crystal record the song?
Get that thing back where it
Put that thing back where it came from, or so help me.
Bum, 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 bum. No.
No,
I wouldn't have nothing
if I didn't have
you.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea John Goodman could sing.
Everyone can sing.
That's true.
Sing decently. I mean, everyone can sing, but not
everyone can sing decently. You just have to practice.
I do practice, Allie, and I'm still not very good.
Practice harder.
Practice harder?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I once told someone.
I can't do that.
I once told someone, I was like, look, talent is the lie that people who worked hard told you so that you won't work hard to get where they are.
Ooh.
Can you do me a favor and tell that to my son in like 13 years when he's an angsty teenager?
I will, because I am a firm believer that if you put in enough practice, you can get better. There is like a certain amount of talent, yes, that goes into singing. Like maybe you won't ever sound like Adele, but you will sound good singing if you practice. Most of it is like doing your warm-ups and knowing how to position your mouth for your vowels and stuff like that. And how to breathe. How to project properly. But it's all stuff that can be learned.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Work hard. And you'll get further than just raw talent will ever get you.
And that's Words of Wisdom by Nicole.
New segment starting just right now.
Me and my friends in high school, we used to have a notebook that we passed back and forth between each other like every couple of days or every like week or so. And it was we called it a quote book. So we just wrote down our favorite quotes. And then we would comment on them. And then we would add comments on to comments as we passed them back and forth.
It was like
Facebook.
Post.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But it was just a bunch of quotes that we wrote down, basically. And some of them were just, like, weird, funny quotes, and some of them were really deep and inspirational. So,
dude, I go back
up with that.
My friend did.
See if they can send you a couple pages or, like, scan some in so we can divulge this a little further.
Right? She probably does have it. I'll have to text her and be like, yo, show me the quote book.
I think that'd be really cool.
But when it comes down to it, though, half the wisdom you learn is from these stupid kids movies. You know,
it really is though.
Well, it's one really good way to learn and instill those values within people. You know.
Yeah, because like half these characters are underdogs. They don't get somewhere just by being good at something. Flick is an awesome inventor, but no one cares. He has to work hard.
That sounds familiar. Who else do we know that was an awesome inventor, but had to work hard and didn't get acknowledged? I mean, it could be Belle or Maurice. I'll give you that.
I was like, I really don't know who you're talking about.
I didn't either, so I didn't answer.
I was like, are we talking about Tesla?
No, Pixar Maurice. Us keeping it Disney themed.
But yeah, you learn a lot from these movies. Pixar's great. What's your favorite Pixar short?
When they
Paper
are
Man.
playing chess.
Oh, that one's good.
Yes, the
chess game.
I love the knick-knack one where he's trying to get out of his globe.
That one's so sad. You're like, yeah, you got this. Oh no.
Or the one in front of Incredibles where the jackalope is singing about bounding around for the sheep that got shaved.
I don't remember that one. I'll have to look it up.
No. When you got the big old bird that fly.
Oh my gosh, yes.
On the power line. And all the little birds.
They get so mad at it.
Get so mad and go, woo.
No, my favorite is...
Pecking. And then there's the one bird who's like freaking out, like, don't.
Well, no, because that bird's on board at first, and then all of a sudden it goes, oh, guys, we need this. We need him. Don't peck his toe. And then they all go flying off. And then they're naked.
No, I was going to say, I feel like Pixar movies are slowly moving towards being more educational in a way that you don't realize. Like Inside Out, for example. Like, we all know we have these emotions in our head, but we don't always know what they are.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And it kind of makes it easier, I feel like, for kids to be like associate and understand what each of those emotions does. Understand that it's okay to be sad when you think about something that was really happy. So I think that's a really good one. That's our favorite one, and I think in our house when it comes to Pixar movies. My husband and I named our dog Riley after the main character.
I still need to watch it. I really should. I know that it's going to be a movie that I like. Yeah. I don't know why I haven't watched more of the recent Pixar movies.
Did you watch Onward yet?
No, it just doesn't. I don't know.
No, I thought the
about
same thing,
I did too,
and I ugly cried.
It's very well done. It is very well done. I thought it was going to be cheesy as heck.
My husband cried at the end. I cried at the end. Ray fell asleep, but if he was awake, he probably would have cried at the end.
Right. Pixar always manages to make you cry. Even if I don't like the movie, like, I didn't like Good Dinosaur, but I ended up crying. I still ended up crying for some reason during that movie.
I think it's because with the Pixar movies, somehow it sucks you in emotionally, and you can't help but like all the characters. And I think it's because even though it's generally a fictional type of scenario, with the, like using Onward, for example, they're like elves and wizards and stuff, which we know is fake, but at the end of the day, the whole concept of two boys with a single mom who lost their dad a long time ago, and there's so many people who do that. With Inside Out, specifically, that movie came out, I want to say, about a month before my husband and I had moved from California to Indiana. So when we saw it, in the movie, it's not a complete spoiler, Riley and her family moved from Minnesota to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So it's about her experience with that. So then me and Jordan were sitting there at the movies, like, ugly crying, and it's just like, we haven't even left California yet, but we were, like, literally in the same spot as her. I mean, how many people do you know at the beginning of Up who cry at Up because Ellie can't have babies or lost the baby? It's one or the two. I can never remember. I feel like it's a combination of the both because they never had any kids after that.
Yeah, I think it's she can't have babies, maybe.
Yeah, but like, how many people do you know who cry at that because they can relate to it? They have, even though the imagery may be false, like the message and what's going on, the story of it, the root of it all is something everyone can relate to, to a certain extent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They somehow dive deep in there and they get you in the feels.
I still can't watch Coco without crying at the end.
Oh my gosh, Coco is so good. It
was so beautiful too.
Yeah, and I knew, like, people were like, this is a really good movie, it's very emotional, and I was like, I see that. Like before I saw it, I was like, I get that, but I was like, I don't know if I'll get emotional because I don't know if I'll like connect the same, just because it's not my culture, and so like I don't know much about the Day of the Dead or stuff like that. That's fine. So I was just like, I don't know if I'll connect to it in the same way because it is very important to people who are Mexican, and that's awesome. But it still got me. I was still sad.
I cannot sing Remember Me, like, without, like, starting to tear up. Like, I'll literally get through, like, the first line, like, trying to sing a lullaby to Ray. I'll get through the first line, and I'm just like, nope. Because it just gets way too real, way too quick.
Yeah. I don't think I expected it to go, like, as dark as it did in the storyline. I don't know why I never expect Pixar to go dark. I always expect they're gonna be these happy, fun movies, but they always go dark.
Yeah.
Well, they have to. They really have to bring this moment of realness, so you don't feel like it's just another like kiddie flick, because they're not just made for kids. And I feel like that's kind of why they do that,
Yeah. So I think that's why I never expected to connect with Coco, because I thought it was going to be mostly a fun movie. And I didn't really expect it to go as dark as it did. And I was like, man, y'all got me again. You just keep getting me. Like, yeah. Even Brave, at the end of Brave, I feel bad for Mordu. Like,
I'm like, with that one doesn't make me cry so much. But more so, I get like a sense of relief watching it because Mordu is finally free.
Yeah. I feel so bad for him because I'm like, you got cursed because you couldn't get along with your siblings, which like most people cannot get along with their siblings.
You got what you wanted, but it's not what you need.
But yeah, at least in the end, he's free. But yeah, that one is my mom's like favorite, Brave, and I always forget about it. And I don't know why.
I really like the Brave soundtrack.
That one's good. I always think of her saying, if you had the chance to change your fate, would ya? I'm like...
Have either of you ever met Merida in the parks?
No. I never really met characters. I was there for everything but characters.
Oh. I did once, and she commented on my hair.
I figured she would. Anytime there's a redhead, that's like straight up like, oh my god. No, but when I met Merida, she was so perfect and spot on. I was just like, am I in a Pixar film right now? Like, sometimes you meet them and you're just like in awe. You're like, whoa, wait a second. Hello. You are this character. When
that happens, that to me is when the magic really comes alive at Disneyland.
Mm-hmm. You know what my favorite character moment was? Actually, it wasn't meeting a character. I was backstage and I saw Snow White and she was like skipping backstage and I was like, wow, you are Snow White.
That's adorable.
I was like, I love it. I'm here for it. You're my favorite. I don't care.
Yeah.
Tinkerbell taught me how to make the water come out faster at the in-between.
Oh,
and I thought it was so, because those machines are so slow, and I was just like waiting for it to come out, and she goes, I have a trick for you. And I was like, hello, where'd you come from?
What's the trick, Tink? Tell me.
And she's like, you do this. And I was like, oh, thank you.
Because I was listening to the Frozen 2 songs earlier, and I was like, I don't understand why Nicole and Allie don't like this. And you guys have made your cases very clear. And I understand, like, what you're saying, but, like, mentally, I still don't get it. And I think it's because just, like, I look at things different. I look at things on way more of a surface level. Like, I don't think much further into it. Like, with you were talking about how you can predict it's going to happen in a movie.
With, like, any plot, it's A, B, C, and that's it. Like, no matter what plot it is. Every story that can be written has already been written. You just have to look for those patterns.
Yeah, I choose not to look for those patterns, though. And I think that's the difference between, to me and you guys, like, especially with the Frozen movies, because I was listening to Frozen again, and I was like, this is a really good song. Why won't they give it a chance? And I was like, oh. But even when we worked at the parks, I was very much looking at things still kind of with rose-colored glasses.
Mm-hmm. Well, like, I like Frozen. I don't think it's a bad movie. I enjoyed it. I really did. There is a lot of good music in that movie. It's just overhyped.
That I will agree on.
Like, to me, it's a good movie, but it's not like, wow, this is the best princess movie ever.
Oh, God, no.
So
Frozen?
that's
Yeah.
Did
that's
you
my
say
only thing
Frozen's
with
a good
Frozen.
movie?
I think it's a good
Friendship
movie. I don't think
over.
it's a wow.
I'm kidding,
Wow.
I'm kidding.
You heard it here first. Buzzketeers are over.
Exclusive.
We're breaking up.
We were on a break. I'm rewatching
Oh my
Friends right
God.
now. Ugh, I forgot how much I like that show.
I hate Ross so much.
I used to love him when I was little, and I would watch the show, and now I can't stand him.
I cannot. I'm never on Ross's side ever. He was so mean to Rachel all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like, all the time. Ian was watching it because he'd never seen it, so he started watching it since it's on HBO Max. And there was like an episode where Rachel accidentally lost Marcel, and she was telling him like, oh, I'm sorry and stuff, and Ross like that night was thinking of trying to like ask her out or something, and he like flipped the switch on her so fast and was so mean, and I was like, dude, you're trying to say that this is the love of your life and you're gonna be so mean to her when she's like upset because she lost your monkey? Like, come on, Ross.
I know.
A jerk.
He is. I did like, wasn't he the one, he's the one who takes all the things from the hotel, right?
Yeah, I think so.
When his
I haven't watched
suitcase
Friends
burst
in
open,
forever.
when his suitcase bursts open, it's just like, ooh, karma's a you know what. Just like little things building up.
Yeah. Friends is a good show, but definitely like a product of its time.
Oh yeah, it's no longer
Oh, yeah.
relatable.
No.
Situations are, but not a lot of what's going on. Like
No.
people in their 20s living in a walk-up that nice in New York City. Honey.
I know. I mean, they explained it away kind of with the
grandma
what was
thing?
Yeah,
It was
the
a grandma thing. I was like,
the fixed rent.
which is
She inherited it.
something that
fixed rent.
happens, but is not what happened there.
Yeah, I think Pixar is just, they're always going to be family films, and not necessarily in the traditional, like, oh, it's a happy story kind of thing, but like all the stories that they give out, I think are always going to be something that everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
Pixar has been around for a while, and it's going to be around for many more years, but I'm very intrigued to see what they have coming out next. They have that Soul movie coming out next, right?
Oh, yeah. That one looks interesting.
I haven't really seen much on it, but I heard Tina Fey is in it, so I'm a huge Tina Fey fan.
Yeah, and it's like the guy turns
I'll
into
watch
like
it.
his soul version of himself, and it's about soul music or something, right?
Yeah,
I saw the preview like two times. I don't even
dies.
remember. Oh,
Yeah.
spoiler. He dies?
It's in the preview.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he falls into like a sewer, an open manhole or something like that.
Is it a vat of acid? Did he fall into the right vat of acid?
If you fall into a vat of acid, you become a superhero, obviously. Or a supervillain. One or the other.
Depends. Is it the right vat of acid? You have to make sure Rick is down there with his thing of bones.
Yeah.
So I just looked up
Oh my gosh.
I just looked up Soul. So it describes the main character, voiced by Jamie Foxx, by the way, so you know there's got to be some good singing in this movie, as a passionate music teacher whose soul gets separated from his body after an accident. So I think that's the Pixar way of saying he died.
Yeah. I believe the movie is about him trying to be reunited with his body. Oh, he's in a coma. That's what it is.
I feel like he's probably,
Okay.
Yeah. I think he's in a coma was what it was. So he's not like dead. So he just has to get back to his body, and he had like, I hope it's good.
I hope so too. I like the cast.
Yeah, I have high hopes because
High hopes.
yeah.
High hopes.
Oh, that's not the high hopes I was going for.
I got high hopes.
No, that's not it either. I was thinking Panic at the Disco.
I like how
I modified words to a song because I was like, "Oh, Disney, this is funny," and then you were like, "No."
Well, I
No.
went with the one that's in a Goofy movie.
Yeah, just not.
Sky in the sky.
There were too many Disney references for her in this episode. We had to move on.
Yes, it's got to be
No,
Panic at the Disco.
you guys know how my brain works. If I hear
Honestly,
something,
no, I don't.
then if I hear a song and or if I hear something, it reminds me of a song. It reminds me of the one song, and then it just plays on repeat for the next 20 seconds.
There you go.
I mean, like, I know all the references you were making, but like, meanwhile, I had in my head, "Gotta have my high hopes for," whatever.
Well,
So.
I mean, I guess we all know songs that are somehow related to high hopes, at least.
I mean, mine wasn't actually about hope, though. It's hi ho, hi ho.
I know.
Yes.
And the award for pun of the podcast goes to Allie.
Oh, I won?
Yeah.
That should be our new award at the end of every podcast.
We'll have Deep Thoughts with Nicole. We'll have the Pun Award with Ashley, and I'm just here.
You win the pun. Here's the catch, though. You win the award every single time.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Can't believe you said that.
Are you just straight face?
I'm sorry. That's me. You gotta deal with it.
Are you just good at making puns because of teaching? Like, is that
Yes.
just that's a teacher thing?
And I was raised by a very sarcastic, dry humor dad as well. So I grew up with dad jokes, and I acclimated to my surroundings.
Did I ever tell you that Jordan made a dad joke while I was in labor?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell our audience, though. I don't think they know.
Like, I was like pushing for the first hour, and then all he's saying is like, "Come on, push, 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 push," and I'm just like, ugh. And then, like, I don't know what he said. He doesn't remember what he said. All I remember is that he made a dad joke, and I looked at him, and I promised to be nice. So I said, "I need you to be serious right now. Please." Like, I made sure to throw a please in there. And he's like,
"Please is important."
He's like, "I had to get one in there." And I'm like, "I need you to be serious." And then she's like, "Push." And he's like, "Push, push, 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 push." And I'm like, "Ah." And in my head, I'm like, "Can you think of anything else to say? Because all you keep saying is push, 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 push. And I know I need to push. Can I get some other words of encouragement?" So, Jordan, next time we have a baby, assuming we have one, come up with some other phrases. And that's Rants with Ashley.
She gets two segments.
No, I don't get 2 segments. The pun of the podcast is going to be, I announce it, but it's your thing.
See, now I feel pressure to be funny.
Don't, please don't feel the pressure to be funny.
It's okay. You put some coal under pressure, you get a diamond, right?
My nephew is over at my mom and dad's house today, and my dad was working on his race car in the garage, and Teddy's in there with him. He's got an incredible shirt on. Kid is just like Jack, just like, all the time.
Nice.
Give him a cookie. He's happy, though.
Man, it's crazy. Like, my little brother Jack, his nickname is Jack Jack because of Incredibles. But his favorite Pixar movie was Toy Story. That was his, like, favorite movie as a kid. There's, like, a scene in Toy Story where Sid's little sister calls the dog Stupid Dog.
Mm-hmm.
And one time, our neighbors, their dogs were, like, barking up a storm. And my brother, I think he was, like, 2 or 3 at the time, he went out into the backyard and he yells, "Stupid dog!" like the girl in Toy Story.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I was like, yep, that's it.
I just love that from a young age, Pixar has impacted our lives and that of our siblings, and I think it's going to impact the lives of the next generation to come as well. Thank you all for joining us today on the Buzzketeers podcast. I'm Ashley.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Allie. Don't forget to follow us on social media on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at The Buzzketeers.
See you later.
Goodbye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.